Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So, what you doing today, Jeff?
I think I'm gonna go since people like my concepts of it so much. Go work on the stairs, on the roof.
Okay, okay, it looks good.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a lot of people are saying how good it looks. That I was
yeah,
doing it
yeah.
so well.
I kind of want to get you to come over and make my roof in my house, real
I
life.
mean, we could redo the barn roof to make it match. It's closer.
Mm, 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 mm.
You'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, yeah. I'll think about that. Uh, um, have you seen the Tesla roofs?
The Tesla roofs?
Yes.
I don't think so.
So they've made these solar
And when I say I
tiles.
don't think so, it means no. But I'm trying to figure out what a Tesla roof would be.
So they've made these tiles that are solar. Like they look like normal shingles, like just a black shingle you would see on a house, but they're actually solar panels
Okay.
that look exactly like a shingle. So you reshingle your house with these solar shingles, then you set up with the Tesla batteries, and like your whole house is solar powered now. But
So
you can't even tell.
So I've been watching a lot of videos on solar and DIY solar, and I don't mean DIY as in like the little homemade kits. I have been watching some of the little homemade like Harbor Freight DIY kits, the small panel setups that you have little stands that you can just set up in your yard. But I just mean how to put solar on your roof and like with the same kits and stuff that you would buy from a major solar company that does this stuff, but you can buy all the pieces yourself and do it for a lot cheaper for the installation if you're like purchasing outright, if you know what you're doing. And I was
Right.
really interested in it, so I watched a lot of videos on it because I think it'd be like a cool thing to do. I Have you ever thought about getting solar?
I have. When I bought my office building, that was actually one of my big plans because where it's at, there's no trees or anything that would obstruct the sunlight, and that was one of the things I had like totally planned to do. When I moved the office up there was to try to make it solar powered, just because of its location and whatnot. I was kind of hoping that the Tesla batteries would improve before I did that, though, because just the lifespan and the capacity and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that seems the way to go as far as if you're going to store the power and not just run off of it during the day, so that you can run off it at night as well. Which a lot of companies seem to do because, like, if you work in a city or whatever, the power cost is different based on the time of day.
Right.
So they try to store power and use it at certain times and whatnot. So you're tearing this all down.
I'm just I was so good I wanted to do it again.
Okay. Huh.
You'll see this beauty when it's all done, don't you worry.
Okay.
It'll be
You'll know it when you see
a
it.
feat of majesty or majestic.
But where you live, I don't think that solar's a good option, is it?
They have a lot of and that's where I'm. Most of the videos I watch are people based in California because I guess California is one of the best places to get solar
Right.
based on there. Sunlight, time of day, all that fun stuff. There are DC solar companies in this area that you can do. There's two different weird things out here. One is you're apparently there's this new regulation where you can tell the solar company or the power company that you want them to only source all your energy from renewable energy sources such as solar, and you still pay the power company, but they have to switch the way they get it. And I don't understand that option at all. It almost sounds like one of those things where they used to call me all the time, and I had a lot of friends that were young that when we were younger that fell for this stuff, and it was they call you up and be like, we can save you on your energy bill. You cut your contract with this place, Consumers Energy or whatever it was in Michigan. You cut your contract with Consumers Energy. We will be the ones providing you power now if you sign up for this contract. And it's, it's a variable rates, but right now it's at this blah, blah, blah low rate. And of course, they always ended up paying way more in their like second month and on because of it. But you sold your rights to have like the consumer energy power. It was a very weird concept, and that's kind of what that sounds like to me, but I don't quite get it. But then there's also these companies that you can call, and they will either, for free, they will deck you out with solar, but you don't own the panels. They still own all the hardware and the equipment and stuff, and any excess power that gets generated they get the money off of it that goes to the grid.
Yeah.
Or you can buy your own panel. You can do the thing where you buy all the stuff from them and they'll come install it, but you own everything and all the excess power is like yours, and you get that money if you wanted to go for that long-term investment. Because the return on investment on those is about, they say, between 5 and 10 years, depending on where you live and your power usage and all that stuff, and how big your system is, of course. What you're spending on it. But so I've always looked at those things and wondered, like, there's a lot of companies in DC area that do it, but it's funny because what I've read is that we're not one of the good areas to do this in. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just having gone there and seen where you live, I don't feel like you get enough sun to make it make sense. Yeah. Like, even on my own home, I don't think that I would, but mainly because I have so many pine trees around.
But at the same time, if you have a big enough battery setup and a big enough solar setup, you're going to... You could make it so you could get enough power to store the energy to be able to be used during the batteries at night or whatever, right? I mean,
if you're not getting enough sun, then you're not getting enough sun.
But if you just get more solar panels,
if you're not getting enough sun, you're not getting enough sun, Jeff. That's the law.
More solar panels. I don't know what about these words you don't understand.
Right. Let me tell you about more solar panels. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't. Yeah, if you're not getting enough sun, it doesn't matter, right? Because you can only store power that you get. If you're not getting the power, you can't store it.
But you'd be getting more power if you had more solar panels. Like, that's the
right,
thing.
But I mean, there's only so much. Your roof only has so big of a footprint.
So right, that would be your limiting factor. Would at that point be surface area. It's not necessarily you could literally get more solar powers to cover your need because you live in a different part of the country, pending you had enough square footage to put them up in. I might have to have 3 times more solar panels than a typical house in. Or for my power requirements than somebody living in California. But theoretically, if I had enough square footage to put the solar panels up, I could generate the same amount of power.
Yeah, if
just
you have
with
the
more
room
panels.
for it. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that was my point. Whether it's cost effective or not, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you could generate the power if you need it with more solar panels.
Sure. Yeah, I won't argue with that. But yeah, I don't think that doesn't mean anything if you don't have enough room. There's a limit. There's limiting factors, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, there's definitely limiting factors. But I still want to look into it out here because even say it's a 10-year return on investment, that's not necessarily a bad investment to make. If I drop 25 grand now, but in 10 years from now, I'm all of a sudden at a break-even point where I'm just creating money, pending these things last like this. And that's what scares me about this stuff. The solar panel itself, I'm not as worried about lasting for the longevity. I'm worried about the batteries.
Well, yeah, there is. I mean, 10 years is probably, you're probably not going to get that out of the battery.
And yeah, that's what I was trying to do more research in and know how long these batteries would last and would work. I would love to get into it to experiment with one of those like little Harbor Freight. I don't know if you've seen. Do you have a Harbor Freight around you?
What the hell is that?
Harbor Freight's just like a hardware store. We don't actually have Harbor Freights out here, but I've seen a lot of Harbor Freight ads and Harbor Freight deals. It's one of those. It's like take a Lowe's and Home Depot, and I guess even make it cheaper. And that's what Harbor Freight is. It's like the. It
sounds like you're saying Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight, correct.
Harbor, like a place where boats go.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So you are saying Harbor Freight.
Yes.
Because one of the times you said it sounded like hardware freight.
No, it's
and then it made more
Harbor
sense.
Freight.
So it's like straight from the boat to you?
Maybe.
That sounds like, based on the name, that sounds like what the premise is supposed to be.
I mean, it could be. That could be the premise. I don't know. But they have these solar panel kits. I think they're like $100, and they come with like 4 solar panels, 4 30-watt solar panels or something like that, and a starter. I think the only thing that doesn't come with is a battery. So if you buy the battery that's supposed to go with it, you end up dropping like $150, and you have like a small solar kit. And there's a lot of YouTube videos where people are trying to determine how many of these kits, how do I need to hook them up, how can I make this run a wall air conditioning unit. It's like what the basis of a lot of these kits is, because that's what it takes a lot of power in some of these places. It's trying to run air conditioning units. So they're seeing, can I be off the grid with my AC with one of these kits or not. So it's really interesting to watch some of these like builds that people do to try to get this stuff going. But I would buy one of those little kits to play with and experiment with, and just even something to charge up power tools, or you know, something that I have running at a regular
Do you use
basis.
a lot of power tools?
I use a decent amount of power tools.
Really?
Yeah, just fixing stuff around the house and
breaking dishwashers?
breaking dishwashers and you know, all that stuff. Yeah, you definitely use power tools for things like that. Oh, by the way, it's done. The roof's fixed.
Oh. I'm down here killing skeletons.
It was just a couple boards out of place.
Oh, okay. Good. I made us both a set of diamond armor. I don't know if you need a full set, but I made you a full set.
No, I need a chance on it, though. I do have 31 levels. Shit, I should...
Do you?
See what I can...
See, that's... Yeah, I kept dying, right, so I didn't get to leave with those levels. I'm trying to get up to 30 now so I can enchant this armor I just made us.
But why were we talking about Tesla? Oh, the roof. Oh, the roofs.
Yeah, you started talking about roofs, and it reminded me of...
But let me ask you this. Is there a big problem... Like, does anybody currently look at a roof that has solar panels on it and go, "Oh my God, that's ugly. I don't want anything to do with that roof"? Doesn't it more have a stigma where it's like, "Oh, that person invested in solar"?
No. Why would that have a stigma? Why is who's like, "Oh, that person invested in solar"?
Well, that's my point. I guess I said it wrong, but that is my point. Nobody's looking at a roof that's decked out with solar panels and thinking it's a bad thing. So do I need to spend the money to get my shingles that are solar panels instead?
So supposedly it's also cheaper than the average solar panel setup.
Oh, that's an interesting...
And it's like concept. More efficient because it covers the entire roof. It's not like these solar cells. So I don't know. Supposedly it's better in all ways. And it looks better.
How are they wired up?
You know.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a grid under the shingles that each shingle snaps into, so to speak. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I think I know the concept that you're getting at here. I mean, it sounds kind of cool. I'd be curious to know how much it actually is, because...
Yeah. I saw someone on Reddit recently that had done it, and they said they spent $50,000, I think, but I don't know how big their house was. Let me Google it.
I can get a Protection 3 book right now. Or I can put Protection 4 on my pants. Do you have where are you at with those brand new pants? I want to see if it'll...
I'm at the skeleton spawner.
Okay, I'm gonna come over and grab, because my pants are like halfway dead, and I'd rather put Prop 4 on brand new pants if it's the same enchantment it'll give me.
Yeah, the first customer, this was, I guess what I saw on Reddit, that was just April 2nd. So this is still kind of new.
50 grand for an entire roof. Yeah, I guess depending on how big it is, like that's it sounds like a lot of money, but it's probably money that might be worth it in the long run. Though if it's their first customer, God, I just wonder the longevity of these things. Like, they're not proven out yet. Are they going to last 5 years and need to get replaced?
Yeah.
You got some pants for me?
Yes. Here, I'll just give you your whole set. In case you want to replace anything you got or repair.
I don't know why you made chest plates.
Well, because we're going to fight the weather, and you're going to take your elytra off when we do that.
Yeah, I guess. Unless I want to fly away with fireworks.
I mean, yeah. Probably should do it, like, in between.
Fly away in between. Throw on the elytra, fly away, take it off. Drop kick from the top with prop 4 chest plates. Yeah, and then the storage, like what I would deal with out here is I would have nowhere to store all the batteries and stuff that you need to have a really good setup.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have that much room out here. And
so this person installed the roof and 3 power walls, which is the batteries. How many
batteries in the power wall?
I think it's just a big ass battery.
One battery?
Yes, it's big. It's a Tesla battery.
There's a prop 4 book in here already.
if I remember right.
Do you have any respiration on your helmet?
I mean, I just made this new armor. I have nothing on nothing.
Because I have the ability right now to get... Oh, I need to get 2 more levels, but then I can get a Respiration 2 book.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to see if we have one already. It does not look like it. I have Respiration 3 on my helmet, so I don't need it, but I don't know if I see Respiration come up all that often.
The cool thing is it comes with a mobile app even that shows what's happening at on your power.
Yeah, I think a lot of the systems do that, all the DIY systems. You should really watch some YouTube videos on DIY solar installs. They're really informative and entertaining.
She tweeted a picture where her roof was generating 6.2 kilowatts of energy and 5.8 of it was being sold to the grid.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
One of the things that they said on there is before you ever endeavor into the solar realm, you have to make sure you get the new meter from your company, because apparently the current meters that most people have are, all they read is that there's power passing through them or energy passing through them. And if you don't get a new one because you don't tell the company that you have solar power and you're going to have excess power coming in that needs to go back to the grid, they just charge whatever goes through the meter as energy and power you're getting from the power company. So one of the guys was saying that he put up his solar before because he wanted to kind of proof of concept first, and he ended up owing money for the solar he generated because he didn't have them give him the new meter.
Right. So the cost is approximately $21.85 per square foot of roof.
And what's the standard shingle? Like $1.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be more than a shingle.
But I wonder what the square footage of roof costs for if you just set a traditional solar panel.
Right. I don't know. Obviously.
I mean, it'd be really interesting to see the whole Tesla Powerwall with the Tesla roofs charging the Tesla vehicle.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the future, right? That's the goal here, I think.
You're right. I think that is the goal. People wonder if that's really going to happen. There's a lot of people, naysayers, on if Elon Musk is going to succeed.
I mean, SpaceX, if you just look at just SpaceX, he seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, but then there's all the people dropping the pre-orders for their Teslas, and
I dropped mine, but that wasn't because of anything they did.
I mean, are they?
So if I'm part of that statistic, I suppose.
How long behind the ship dates are they now?
Mine was going to come out soon, actually, from when I'd pre-ordered. But I guess I pre-ordered over a year ago, and they gave me my $1,000 back. So it wasn't a difficult process or anything.
Yeah, I just heard that they were super delayed, and that was one of the reasons that people were.
No, they had told me I would get mine by August.
But that's when you pre-ordered, right?
No, that was like last update because they were updating me and stuff. So unless, I mean, it's possible that changed, I guess. But last I had heard it, I was expecting it in August.
How many levels are you at?
26.
Okay, I'm at 28, so I'll wait for you to get done, and I'll come get some more.
I'm making the best YouTube content right here. So I was talking to you before we started about the new Nintendo Labo. The Labo. A lot of people don't realize it's French after after France got together with the Global Climate Change Summit. They had so many engineers there. Nintendo was there, for just to show their support, and all those engineers there, they got them together and asked them to work on something for Nintendo, and so that's why it's got the French name. But if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. It's like this cardboard thing that you build out this cardboard and it interacts with your Nintendo Switch.
Because I'm assuming it's just based on motion sensor control.
Some of it is, but so like the piano. So built the piano because that's what my daughter wanted first out of everything. Which I was surprised because there's 2 kits that are available now. There's the variety kit, which comes with like 8 different things, and then there's the robot, which is standalone, which you basically become a fucking mech. Which is really cool. I haven't built the robot, but I've looked at like people playing it, and it just looks really cool. So at some point I'll get to play it because I have it. I just haven't built it yet. But this is actually an interesting story too. I'll tell you this, my Walmart story in a second for buying the thing. But built the piano, and the way the piano works. So you put the Joy-Con, which is the controllers that the Switch use. I know you don't have one, so you may not be familiar with what I'm talking about. They detach from the side of the Switch. So you put those in the back of the piano, and it's got an infrared sensor that looks into the piano, and on each of the keys and things that you interact with the piano, you put these little pieces of reflective tape on. So like when you press down a key, that's what the infrared sensor is reading, is the reflective tape on each key or whatever. There's also like these cogs you can put in the top of it that change the frequency of the music, and you can turn those to change it further. Like it's pretty fucking wild, honestly, like how it all works and how it uses this tape to see what you're pressing, and just how well it works too. It's like one of those things where when you look at it, it's like you're a little bit in the disbelief of how well this is really going to work once it's all put together. But I don't know, I've been pretty blown away with the whole thing.
So I'll tell you that just in general, and I said this before we started recording as well, that Nintendo has definitely been the most innovative of the big three game console manufacturers, in my opinion. Just starting with the Wii and the Wii Motion controller.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I didn't think about the fact, like, I always wondered, why did they go away from that? Like with the Wii U and now with the Switch, it doesn't really nearly have as much. It's not based on the Wii Motion controller anymore.
Well, the Joy-Cons actually act a lot like those old Wii remotes.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, like the Just Dance games, for example, that's all it's using. It's not using, like all the other Just Dance games use some kind of camera to see what you're doing. Right. But the Wii, it's all about how you move the controllers.
But I didn't realize that after the Wii motion controllers came out, and with the enormous success of the original Wii because of that's when PlayStation started coming out with their they had something they're similar they were trying to come out with, those little things with the balls on the end or whatever, and they basically failed miserably. And then Xbox tried to do something and they kind of failed miserably, and then the Wii U comes out and didn't really utilize much of that stuff anymore. Like, you could still use the original Wii, motion controller and stuff with them, but they didn't really make games tailored toward that anymore. And it was because all of a sudden they started talking about that it was almost like it was a gimmick that people stopped really liking. And I was like, wait a minute here. That's like what made me think that Nintendo was going to be the greatest console coming back out of this stuff, was because of this crazy innovation with the Wii. I remember when I got my original Wii and how excited I was to finally have scored one at a GameStop, because they were sold out forever.
Right.
And the fact that they come out with something else like this, I'm like, that's amazing. That's great. But is it going to be one of those things that just falls off the wayside next year as well because it's too innovative that nobody wants it? Like, I'm still lost at why the Wii motion controls aren't the popular thing anymore.
Right. I think it's hard to say with this. I think it really depends on how people give it a chance. I know that for me, it very much reminded me of, because me and my daughter build a lot of Lego blocks. Like, we do a lot of Lego sets, and she enjoys playing with them, but it's not the same. I bought her this thing called a GUANO last year. It was through a Kickstarter, and it's been really successful since then. But I think I told you about it. It's a little wooden box, and you have a wooden controller that you can program it like forward, left, right. There's also a function set
like
where
the
you
old
can
turtle
create
you're
functions.
talking about, right?
Right. It's basically a turtle. Yeah. But there's also a function section, so you can put a function and then you put the function key up in the command part, so it'll just execute that function once it gets to that point. They did another Kickstarter earlier this year where they released like a ton more maps and stuff. So I got her all that for Christmas. But she's basically learning programming through this little wooden turtle sort of thing. And she got selected at school for they do these advanced classes for 1st through 3rd grade, where they pick one kid from each class to be a part of this, and she got selected. And so I talked to the school about it, and they don't have any of this GUANO stuff, but they'd heard about it and they were interested. So I've been bringing that up there to the school as well for them to check out and use in this secondary classroom. to teach the kids programming, basically. But this Nintendo thing, it like when it comes with all these cardboard things you can build, but it also says when you do this, like it gives you the functionality to program these things on your own as well. You can go a step further with that and build your own devices. And I really hope, I mean, the first two, they're numbered like Toy-Con 1 and Toy-Con 2. I hope they continue to add to this line because I feel like they're just getting started with it. And it's not just, you build this cardboard piano or whatever. She spent a while coloring it and decorating it because it's just cardboard. You can do whatever you want to with it. So it wasn't just this piano. She's personalized it as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen done with the gaming system.
Well, and the interesting thing I find about this is, what it sounds like it is, but it's just like but they have these as well. So it sounds like an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi.
I mean, it kind of it has some of those aspects, right? I mean, it's this thing that's doing something. Whoever had this idea is a fucking genius in my mind. Like, because they took a gaming system and turned it into something completely different that I never ever would have thought was possible when I first picked this thing up.
Right, I would agree with you there, but I guess they're doing it right because they know they have an audience with the Switch, and it takes a lot more to get somebody to switch over to like a Raspberry Pi or something. But you can almost just do that stuff with a Raspberry Pi and be so much more innovative.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, because this is made, like the Joy-Cons and stuff have this functionality built in that make this all possible. I think it would be different.
You're right. If the motion stuff, I guess, is kind of big.
Right. Yeah, so it's definitely a big part of it. Yeah. So I don't think this is something that. I mean, yeah, you could program this stuff. I'm sure that there's add-ons for the Pi. I mean, I've done some stuff with like Lego Technic using a Raspberry Pi to expand what the little Lego Technic thing could do. But it's still, it's still limited. I think I told you about some of that stuff I did, but I never told you in the world about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But yeah, I think it's really cool. Like I would recommend anyone to buy a Switch and this thing.
Durable is this stuff, and how much?
The cardboard's really thick. It's really thick. So the variety set was $69.99, and that comes with like 7 different things: a piano, a race car, a house, a RC car, a fishing game. I think it was 7 different things. I'm probably forgetting some of them. I've only done the racing game and the piano at this point because we're doing it together. And then the robot is its own standalone
Your
thing.
daughter gets there, you have everything all built already.
Well, honestly, whenever she was leaving the other day, she was like, "Can you just go ahead and build these while I'm gone?" I mean, she enjoyed building it and stuff, but at the same time, she just wanted to play because the piano took 4 hours for us to put together. It was not I mean, the instructions are fantastic. Like, it's all built into the game. You put the game in, and you can move the image around and stuff, zoom in, zoom out, all that sort of thing. And the instructions are very, very well done. But it is very time consuming to fold all of this cardboard. But granted, the piano is also the biggest thing in the whole variety set. I imagine the robot, because it's its own box, and it was $79.99. I imagine the robot will probably take more than 4 hours to put together.
With the robot itself was $79.99?
Yes. Yeah, that one's standalone.
That one's standalone. The rest of them all came together.
Right.
Okay. And
I do think the robot looks the coolest.
Once you build it once, how long do you think? Like the piano, I guess you're not putting too much wear and tear on, but I saw one of them in that commercial was like a foot pedal. How long do you think a foot pedal is going to last?
Yeah, I have questioned this. How long are these things going to stay together? Like I said, it's not just thin cardboard; it's very thick. But yeah, I mean, it's only going to last so long for sure.
If something on it broke, can you replace it with like cardboard box and cut it to the same shape, or is it special? Cardboard?
No, you could totally do that.
So it's not like it's special sensor built into the cardboard.
Mm-mm. No. All the sensor stuff is the little piece of tape.
So that makes me kind of wonder, like, now what I'm excited to see is what do people make themselves?
Right.
And then the question comes, and this is where a Raspberry Pi thing comes into play, is am I allowed to sell a product? that I make
Right.
that's different than something they have, or does Nintendo own all rights to even selling anything that is supposed to play with the system?
I mean, I feel like you could. I mean, that's an interesting question. I don't know if you can now put this thing on eBay. Like, I've made this design. Here's a PDF to build it yourself, sort of thing.
I just mean even if you made them yourself and sold them. Like, this is the outer shell that goes with your,
Right. It's already put together. You just buy it and
right. Or even if I just got into a company that did the design of the cardboard sheets just like Nintendo does, for not for what they're selling already, but for the product that I now invented. Like, that's different than something that Nintendo currently sells. Can I sell that, or is that illegal?
I'm gonna Google that and see if there's actually someone talking about it.
Because a lot of people do make like their livelihood off of add-ons and stuff, and things that are, this is meant to go work with a Raspberry Pi. This is my like little project. I think one of them's one of the big ones is like a little race car type setup, and like they give you all the pieces to it, the coding that they wrote, and it's just like you can buy the kits. They include a Pi, but it's like you insert Pi here, put this code on it, and now you have this fully functional like RC car or whatever, because they do the other outside work.
Hold on.
Because if Nintendo was smart, what they would do is make a little like licensing store, let people sell that shit, but they get a cut of it if they do it through the official Nintendo licensed store, and they don't even design shit anymore. They just get shit.
I mean, when you think about what Nintendo did on YouTube, as far as the only way you could put out Nintendo videos without them trying to claim copyright on it was if you were partnered with Nintendo and all that, makes me think that they wouldn't be too cool with you making your own stuff for this and selling it.
I would agree that they probably would not be.
So probably not. I don't know where the law lies in all this, though. It's an interesting question.
Ooh, feather falling 3 boots.
Because they do totally like push you in that direction of, all right, now that you've built this thing, don't throw away the little scraps of reflective tape that we've given you, because you could use them to make your own shit and stuff like that.
That's what they'd say?
Yeah. Like whenever I finished the piano, one of the last steps was like, there's still some, like on the outside of where the reflective stickers were at is like the rim of the sheet is more reflective sticker, and it's like, don't be sure not to throw it away. You might want to make your own and program your own things for this, and keep that tape. You might need it, basically.
Interesting.
So they have that in mind, and the functionality is built into the software for you to program and create your own things. So they are assuming people are going to do that. But whether I don't know if they thought about the fact that people are then going to want to mass produce it and sell it for other people to use.
Yeah, my gut is saying that they're going to be like, no. But, I mean, I'm really curious.
Huh? I'm curious if anyone else bought one and what they thought about it. I don't know how I would feel about the whole thing if I didn't have a kid. I don't think the piano would have appealed to me as much as it did my daughter.
Bought it anyway.
I would have bought it, yes, especially the robot. I think the robot's going to be badass. I mean, you're basically a mech warrior through a city, busting shit up. So I'm all about that. The piano, I don't think the piano would have appealed to me as much as it did her. But the racing thing is cool, and I think the fishing thing is going to be cool just from looking at it. So.
Well, the nice thing is, once your daughter gets bored with the actually building of them, which it sounds like she already is, so maybe one more session and she doesn't want anything more to do with building, you have Twitch streams of building.
I've considered doing that. I've been building Ghostbusters. I bought this 5,000 piece Lego set, and I've been doing Twitch streams of building that thing, which is taking forever. And people seem to be enjoying that. So I did consider switching up one of those streams and just building cardboard. So I might end up doing that, honestly.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think I did for one of our Secret Santa year. My gift was a fire truck, a Lego fire truck, so it didn't even take long. And I Twitch streamed the building of it. And I don't, my Twitch streams, when I do them, even when I'm gaming, I don't get that many viewers on them. My fire department videos are actually doing okay, but I did that one. I think I had like 110 people watching me build this fire truck. Like it was strange. It was off the wall.
Right.
Normally I get like 30 or less. It was 110
Yeah.
people watching me build a Lego fire
Huh.
truck.
Yeah, my Lego has been doing better than my average stream. I just thought it was just a fluke, but maybe people have this weird
Lego
thing for
fetish.
building Lego. Yeah, locked out here. But yeah, we're at time. So hope you all have enjoyed.
All right, guys.
Us killing skeletons. Thanks for watching.
See ya.